Jurgen, I hope
Hi.
you're well. Just reflecting on the events of the past week, have you and the players had a personal apology from John W. Henry or anyone at boardroom level? How did those conversations or meetings even go? And what's your message to the fans now?
So, no, we haven't, or we hadn't. Um, I don't think, to be honest, it's necessary because I felt, or I think I was even I was mentioned in the apology, and the team as well. So that was personal for me, or personal enough for me. No, we didn't have, we didn't speak about that since then.
And your message to the fans moving forward, Jurgen?
That's a tough one. So to answer, to be honest, because I cannot tell millions and millions of people how they have to deal with the situation. What I can say, how I try to deal with it, and that is I try to focus on what I have to do, and that is preparing a team for the Newcastle game. Um, the other thing I can say. I know the owners. I know them since 6 years. I know there were some moments when they might not have made the right decisions. This time for sure, and that doesn't change for me too much because I prefer dealing with the problems or the people I know than just changing because then you might have the same problems early enough again. So I think that it's completely normal after this that everybody thinks about how can we carry on and stuff like this. But this is obviously that needs longer time, and you cannot sort that now in a week or these kind of things. And it's always like this. We have to, especially we as a team, we have to be concentrated on the things we are actually here for, playing football, and that's what we try to do.
And as for the players, how do you feel your captain in particular, but also the rest of the first team squad have dealt with this situation?
Very good. I'm not surprised about that. They are grown up people. They are adults. They are top characters, top blokes, and that was a really good thing to do. Just saying your opinion, and that's what they did. Not the first time, and for sure not the last time.
And you can now focus on another important game for obviously what you still want
We
to
only
achieve this season.
Yeah, we only have important games left, and massively important. We have actually six finals if you want, and we have to win them all pretty much. And we better start tomorrow. And we know it's a tricky one. We know all what Newcastle is going for. They fight for staying in the league, and that's clear. Maybe with 3 points tomorrow, they can not make that sure already, but would be a big step for them. But we have our own targets, and we have to fight really we have to offer a proper fight tomorrow, and we have to play football, and we have to score goals, and we have to defend, and all these kind of things. That's what we have to do tomorrow, and that's for 95 minutes, and that's what we try to prepare now.
And we have Curtis and Nat back. And is there any updates on when you'll have Jordan Henderson available as well?
No, Ned Phillips is not back. No. Curtis is back. Yeah, that's true. All the others not. What was the question? I know when Jordan is coming back.
Yeah.
No, don't know.
Yeah, just any update as to when he might be available again?
Not really. I don't know. Nobody told me, so it's not for sure. Not in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Simon Crabtree, PLP.
Just in terms of the front four, your mainstays, it were. What questions or problems or dilemmas do you have when you're selecting which of the three to start with at the moment, or do even sometimes have you considered all four of them again?
It was not too often possible, to be honest, because of Diogo's injury, especially. I think. What is the thing? There are a lot of things. So the intensity of the games before, we can't ignore that. Who played most of the games? Blah blah blah. It's an intense season. So if you can rotate in moments, that helps a lot. Which formation fits? That's obviously the main thing. Which fits most or the best to the opponent we play, and how can we defend? How can we close the spaces they want to use in the best way. So the other front three for us obviously are really important as well. So these are the things, no others. Like actually with the whole team.
Go on, Simon, sorry.
And I know you touched on Newcastle with Vinny there, but just sort of what problems do they pose at the moment? Because they've found form just at the right time, I suppose, for them.
Yeah, they had already a good spell in the beginning, I think, of the season, and they probably dropped a little bit. They had injuries, COVID, everything came together, I would say, or a lot of things came together, and so now they have, I think, a settled lineup, even when they miss obviously key players still with the Celts and others. So, but they or share, but they have now 5 in the back, and Steve likes to keep the structure when it's successful. So 5 in the back, that works well. Then with Shelby, Longstaff, Almiron, probably not sure. Obviously, there could be some others as well. But in midfield, and then Mr. Saint-Maxime is a proper one, and he was injured. That was a massive blow for Newcastle, I'm sure. And Joelton, they play now really well together, to be honest. And Wilson is then not even on the pitch, and if he starts, that's not a big drop, I would say, performance-wise. So no, they found their lineup, they found form, they found the way to play, and so for them it's good. For us, it's the job to do.
Thanks, Simon. Juliet for a question, and then Ian Kennedy, also from the BBC.
Hey Jurgen, with the ESL, the fallout, the repercussions that people are still talking about, although it isn't obviously going to happen for the actual league, I was just wondering, with what you said to Vinny, what positives can be taken out of it, if there are any, going forward?
Positives?
Well, you always say, like, you look for a positive and a negative situation, when there's talk about the reforms and everything.
So
else.
look, the most positive thing it didn't happen, but I'm now not involved that much anymore, because I started again focusing on obviously on preparing the team. But what I've heard, it's not over yet, and I don't mean with the Super League could still happen, but obviously now there are a lot of discussions about other things as well, and we could speak a lot about these kind of things. I'm just not here to do that always. Everybody knows my view on more games and stuff like this, and that's why what Pep said yesterday is absolutely, was always my opinion. I didn't hide that you cannot just introduce always new competition. So yes, the Super League is off the table, good, very good, but the new Champions League is now not that you think, oh great, what's that? Let's just do that. They showed it to me. They called me and they gave 1 hour to UEFA, and then they showed it to me, the whole idea, and I said I don't like it, because there are 10 games instead of 6. I have no idea where we shall put them in, and then you will see what happens then. Then maybe the UEFA will ask for the cup competition gets cancelled in England or whatever, or that we have 18 teams in a league and stuff like this. You tell that the Premier League, then they say no way. You tell that the EFL, they say no way. All these kind of things. The only people who will never get asked are the coaches, the players, and the supporters. Yes, but we have to, and I mean, I know the supporters think, yeah, but playing more games, they get paid a lot of money, but we are already on the edge. And believe me, when all the coaches think the same, the coaches of the teams who play international football, so if they all think the same, there must be something in that it could be a little bit too much. But again, the UEFA didn't ask us, the Super League inventors didn't ask us. Nobody asked us. It's always just play more games. And we said before, that's not possible. In this structure in the moment, it's not possible. You cannot have 20 teams in the league, 2 cup competitions, playing 10 international games before Christmas. These things are not possible. But how is that? We don't get asked. We just have to deliver.
I think it was Gundogan. Sorry, was the
no. Pep said in the press conference
okay,
something, and Gundogan said something similar. I know.
Okay, sorry. Ian Kennedy, also BBC.
Hi Jurgen. Just on this weekend then ahead, it's an important one because the games are running out. Obviously, you can go fourth in the table, and then West Ham are playing Chelsea. So how big a weekend is this? I know it's all about what you can do, but maybe you need a bit of help from other results as well.
Oh, I said it before. That's a situation I don't like too much, but it's, to be honest, it's anyway the situation, because we are behind a few teams, so they need to lose points somewhere. We don't play them anymore. The teams around us, or don't play Leicester, don't play Chelsea, don't play West Ham anymore. So we don't play these teams, so they have to lose points somewhere, and that's the situation. But first and foremost, we have to make sure that we get our own points. If we don't do that, we have anyway no chance. So that's the first thing I'm really concerned about, and all the rest we have to wait and see. That's the truth.
And does it feel, I mean, I'm trying to think about the comparison between what you and the players must have felt going into the Leeds game on Monday and how you're feeling now going into this one. Does it feel like a huge weight has been lifted psychologically off everyone's shoulders?
Yeah, I would say yes, because it was really tough at Leeds, because we were pretty much thrown into it. We had no idea what's going on. We didn't know exactly how people will react, stuff like this. We had our own opinion. That was it. Yeah, that was not so cool, but I would not say we only drew at Leeds because of that. It just was the situation. So now actually we tried to concentrate fully on this on football again. But we are not dead, so we realize that things are still going on. A lot of talks are for different things happening in other clubs. The only things I can say, I really hope that the bond between us and our supporters, that it might even get stronger, and we don't discuss now always things what bad decisions in the past. I just don't understand life like this, to be honest. Good people, and I can tell you, I know our owners, they are not perfect, like I'm not perfect, like you are not perfect, but they are not bad people. So, and I made a not so good decision, let me say a bad decision, that's true. But let's carry on. I really think it's. But that's my point of view, and I cannot tell other people how they want to see it. But I really try to try that all my life. That if something you cannot change anymore, then come on, carry on. Really carry on. Make sure that you are as good as possible. That you are ready for each fight as much as possible. Get a stronger unit if possible, and go out there and show the world that we can deal with pretty much everything. So nothing happened, and nothing will happen in the near future with the teams. Now they will not come around the corner next week again and try to do something, for sure not. They all learned their lesson, I'm pretty sure. So but now we have to just to make sure that we don't get any harm of it, like a different atmosphere in the club. But for other clubs the same, obviously. Where now fans fight with coaches and managers and teams. I don't know if that's true or not. But if things like this happen, that would be then a really bad thing about it. That would be the really bad thing about it. Nothing else, because the rest didn't happen. So they tried something, it was not allowed. So come on, let's go back to the beautiful game it always was. And I'm not naive. I know that things will be discussed. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with change. But we all wanted to have the Super League away. So, but in the same moment, it happened that now the new Champions League is out there. And who read this concept properly and says, oh, that's perfect? And who tells me now that's not about money? It's a joke. I said before, Nations League, but with more games. I said before, the FIFA wanted to have a Club World Cup. It's all, and they don't ask. They just want to introduce it. What's the reason for that? Money. So these kind of things, that happens constantly. But in the end, we always could, at least in our moments, have the perfect moment for us. Playing football, enjoying the game as much as we can. And that never changed so far. And I only want to make sure that it will not change. So, because it started already. That's why I said in Leeds that the Leeds supporters wanted to show us as a team. They were shouting at us that we are greedy. So they were like, what? What are you talking about? But that's exactly the situation we all create. They need to find somebody where they could put their attention on. And that was, in this case, was us. And it was not deserved. But we are Liverpool, that's true. But as said before, Liverpool is much more than this. And that's what I want to make sure.
Carl Markham and then Neil Jones, and we'll go to the embargo. Carl.
Jurgen, you said there that managers barely get consulted on anything. So I'm just wondering, considering your relationship with the owners, would you have liked an explanation, because you're the one who's going to answer all the questions?
An explanation, I know it, and I will have time to speak to them, and that probably will tell me what they thought, what the thoughts will be behind. But is that really important now? So it's what he said before. If they would have spoken to me before, I would have told them, no, that's not a good idea. Would have had changed something? I don't know. So again, a manager is not. I decide a lot of things, but never did before these kind of things. None of us is doing it. So Pep won with City pretty much everything and was not involved in it. So that's a completely normal thing. There are different levels in a club. They try, they have made a decision for some reasons. I don't know them, but it's now not about that I get an explanation. I'm not like this. I'm happy about that it didn't happen. And I have so much things to talk about with them. This will actually, from my point of view, not be a part. And why did you do that and stuff like this? We have to plan our future and not talking about what happened last week and these kind of things. It's great that it didn't happen. Absolutely great. It would have been really, really bad. But now it didn't happen, and now I have a job to do, and I cannot do constantly like different jobs. And now again, so make sure that will never happen again. Never. The situation shows it. It will not happen again. So there was now a proper try, obviously, and they couldn't get it through. Believe me, it's now for a long time that something like this will not happen. But other things will happen. Other things will happen. And we spoke about these things before, and nobody listened to the players and the managers. And if we mention it, it's always the argument is always, yeah, but you get that well paid. Yeah, rotate your squad and all these kind of things. The football structure in this moment is not prepared for more games. And I don't know, and some others on a really high level have no idea how you really shall deal with even more games. And if you have games, competitive games, when you have an international break, stuff like this, that now the national teams play only competitive games as well. So where is the drop-off? And we have to make sure that the quality of football gets higher, not by buying, no, by training, these kind of things. And even the best players cannot get as good as they could be without training. That's just not possible. But we cut off training time constantly. We spoke about that. I spoke about that. Nobody really listened. It sounds always that I'm moaning. It's just a situation. And now one thing happened where everybody was obviously involved and everybody was on the same page. That should not happen. And now we think that would be the worst thing. It didn't happen, so it's not the worst thing. All the other things still happen. That's much worse. They still happen. Nobody cuts off games to just continue. More games. Yeah, these kind of things. When we spoke about 5 subs in this country, nobody said, well, 5 subs, why? That's better for the big clubs. No, it's not better for the big clubs. It's better for the players. Nobody listened. So these kind of things, they still continue. These are my concerns, not the things they didn't happen. No, the things they happened and we still have to deal with.
I'll just check quickly as well on the fitness of Jota. There was a lot of conjecture because he wasn't pictured at training yesterday.
Joe is fine.
Good. Final question in the open, Neil Jones, and then we'll go to the embargoed section.
Did you speak to the players as a group? You know, obviously they took a big step on Tuesday to come out collectively in support. And does it bother you that the great relationship that's been built up over 3 years between the club and the supporters and the team was jeopardised by everything that's happened this week?
Yes, of course I spoke to the team collectively on match day, because the day before it happened, the match day morning, we organized a meeting which was not organized before. We didn't think we need that, or we didn't know that we need a meeting. So then we spoke about it. Yes, I explained it, and I said, I hope not that the relationship got jeopardized. To be honest, but I can't see that. But who am I to know about that? To be honest, what was the third part of the question?
Oh, sorry, put me on mute.
Yeah, I mean, it's about you've got preparing for a game, and you've got banners hanging on outside Anfield criticising the club. You've obviously arrived at the Leeds game and had distractions there. The preparation's been affected. Does that bother you that something might be lost in that?
No, I understand. No, I understand. They're not. How can fans show then if they're not happy with something? So I was not happy about that when around the Leeds game on the match day that I heard about that. But I understand that completely. Meanwhile, yeah, what do you want to do? You take off the banners or whatever. That's completely fine. I get that 100%. But apart from that, what I had to say about the Leeds game, I said already, and I have no idea what happens tomorrow. I hope nothing, to be honest, but apart from a football game, but I don't know. And these are the facts. So from my point of view, I don't see a reason why there should be anything between our supporters and us, to be honest. But who am I?